Last but not least, tell us about Royal Warriors and you're taking them for the TZLC 7. At this moment in time, I think Pravin, or JJ is commonly known, the manager, is still planning to dabble in the transfer market. Rumours abound that he's after a keeper, so let me just continue assuming that he'll loan a goalkeeper for the TZLC. JJ has clearly added to the talent pool at the Warriors, of which one was undoubtedly a panic purchase. After having his heart set on his player Manan's younger brother, which he lost as he was offline on final bid day, he bought a player that kept the players satisfied and the fans happy. So let's start off with this player. He's only just joined the sessions and is already improving on the natural talents he already has. At this moment, I'm working on his quickness to speed up his play. If the opposition would give this guy space, he's the kind of player that would punish you for it. Although marking him tight would be difficult too, as he is a strong bloke, he tends to go about distributing the ball just like one of the surf dudes you see on the telly. Life's a breeze, dude. Just ride the waves to your destination. His position? Probably central midfield, but this is where my eyes glaze over and I enter a catatonic state. Rather like a zombie. I've just taken a deco at the squad list, and it's major panic attack time. What kind of a squad is this? So much talent, but only one left-footed player. Therefore, to make it easier, if I was selecting the squad, the first 11 that is, I'd start giving a back seat to the players that don't practice. But even that would be insane, as then the team would be lopsided. In actual fact, players dropping out would be manna sent from heaven to select 11 out of this 12. But nope, we won't think in those terms. Presuming all of them were fit and available, I'd say to them that I have 12 players vying for 10 positions, considering the keeping spot is going to a lone player unless one of the players wants to keep. So to continue, 12 fighting for 10 spots, which means players sitting out. I'd pick the side and tell them no one's position is safe. Rolling subs are allowed, so if you're shite, you're off. And the chap who comes on as sub tries to prove that he's not shite too. The problem with this is that the team won't settle to a rhythm. Players will get upset at being dropped and playing in unfamiliar positions. But if it works, it generates healthy competition and players will work harder. So, I would want this side to play expansively, work both the flanks and the middle. If I consider the Iron Man first, yup, you read me right. Me thinks he's one of those guys who runs and cycles and swims crazy distances for fun. This bloke is super fit, Lalit Zope. I see him as a player that can make the flank his own. But he's inexperienced, so to his work ethic, I'd put him in right central midfield or right midfield. This fellow needs to evolve as a footballer. He has to work on his awareness. Then playing would be all the more fun. Another player who's fond of running, well, not in the Lalit terms, but more in terms of, see how tired I am? That's cause I'm running up and down, see? Bhushan Kaple at right wing back. I'm not a fan of how he keeps his foot loose and therefore not the right weight on the pass, but sometimes his overlapping runs at speed are a joy to watch. On the opposite side would be Manan Joshi, of course, left wing back or left midfield or even left wing. But honestly, I'd like to see him in left central midfield because he's got a clever head on his slender shoulders. He has a tenacity and can run for ages, but he may be out-muscled by a stronger opposite number. So on the left would be ideal. I'll ask him to own the flank, whip in crosses and dribble. Tackle when necessary, of course. I'd tell him to curb his habit of cutting inside. Amol Monga is probably already saying, do we need this fight for places? He's probably already on the phone to his manager telling him that he's willing to sacrifice for the squad. That would indeed be sad. Amol's a great player, but always in turmoil. The kind of guy that after killing a blood-sucking mosquito, that too accidentally, when the shot he took squashed the insect as it sucked blood from the diving goalkeeper, thought, poor fellow, Not the goalkeeper, the Mozzie. He always carries the world along wherever he goes. So you could imagine what would happen if he scored an own goal. Calls of "hide the rope, hide the railway tracks, hide the cyanide" would ring out. So let's put him at right midfield or right central midfield. Another very talented player is Jatin Bhana, a very strong player but sometimes overhits passes. Unfortunately, not at full fitness. I'd play him in right central defense. He'll need to take charge as his awareness levels are high and looks up where Amol Monga looks down. Play simple and straightforward would be my advice. Nothing extraordinary needed. Just do your job. Karan is another player plagued by injuries. Then he goes and rests for a day and then goes out for a jog. Such a waste of ability. He was actually on the mend but got injured again. The most expensive player for a long time, but now injury prone. If he's not fully fit, the royalty could keep him in goals. Anyway, hope you get 100% fit 135. Moving on to a player with a low center of gravity and therefore oodles of talent, Satish Sutati. Another central player, either left central midfield or left central defense. His way of frowning is smiling. Confused? Watch him sometime. Advice: in central midfield, dribble and shoot most of the time. RW's most expensive player, bought for 10 million TZR, Alan DeCosta, is a tall, talented bloke, short on practice but acrobatic. I'd stick him up front. Now to everyone's favorite, Mr. Suave, Toufiq Sheikh, the man whose only goal in life is to break either the bar or the post with one of his trademark bungas. Yes, Toufiq, up front. Although he's worked on his passing, he still tends to keep track of his lifetime goal. I think I've finished. Nah, don't worry, JJ. I've kept the best for last. JJ, I'd ask you to fight with Alan and Toufiq for a place up front. Otherwise, look for a place at right wing. If you don't have a position, that is, RW does not play in a formation which has a right winger, then look at right midfield or right wing back. Whatever position you end up in, please make sure that you aren't offside. If on the flank, remember the touchline is your girlfriend. Thank you for your time. If you have time, players on the ADC list next. Till next we meet.